What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? This is your boy TL. This is your Week 8 fantasy football preview. Um, for Week 8, I have four quarterbacks to take a look at. Russell Wilson has been doing a lot for the Seahawks. I'm not sure what the Seahawks are doing. They just traded Percy Harvin to the Jets, but looks like Russell Wilson's going to have to do a lot more. And so I think he threw 2 touchdowns and he ran for another. He had like over 100 yards rushing, which is ridiculous for a quarterback. So obviously big fantasy numbers. Austin Davis had a solid game. They beat the Seahawks at home. I think he had 2 touchdowns, no picks. Philip Rivers had a good game. He's playing against Denver. Obviously it's going to be a shootout, so he's going to have to throw a lot. He's a good quarterback, so it should be a good game. And last but not least, Eli Manning, I believe he had 3 touchdowns, no picks. So good game out of him as well. Moving on to running backs. Running backs that I have my eye on. Ivory from the Jets. I think he had 100 yards and a touchdown. Shane Vereen is a huge pickup and play for you for the Pats because Ridley's out for the season. Denard Robinson, if you're not a Buckeyes fan. Justin Forsett continues to produce for the Ravens. Hopefully there's, well, not for me, but if they're smart, they'll keep Forsett as a starter the rest of the year. Trey Mason is a good pickup also for the Rams. Zach Stacy used to be their guy, and I'm not sure if it's because he's not been producing or he's not healthy or what, but Trey Mason had a good game. I actually watched the Rams game, and Trey Mason was running hard, man. I was impressed, just like he did when he was at Auburn, and I was wondering if they're going to give him more of the carries, and they did. They gave him, I think, 18 carries, so he's a nice pickup. Trent Richardson and Ahmad Bradshaw are both good pickups for you, and plays for the Colts. They're actually both getting enough of the piece of the pie that they're worth playing in fantasy. McKinnon for the Vikings has had a solid game. I think he had over 100 yards. Looks like to be the guy instead of Asiata in Minnesota. And last but not least, Darren McFadden. This one hits a little close to home. He's playing the Browns. The Browns are playing the Raiders this week. And as you can see, Denard Robinson ran all over the Browns because we have a lot of injuries on our D-line. So I love a lot of myself and say that we're going to shut down the running game, but that's probably delusional. So Darren McFadden looks to be a good play this week. Receivers, I have Hawkins from the Browns. He had a nice game, over 100 yards. Roddy White had double the targets that Julio Jones did, which is crazy. Kendall Wright, he's a sneaky play. He's a good receiver, good hands, runs good routes. So he's a decent pickup if you need him. Doug Baldwin had the most looks for the Seahawks. I don't really trust Russell Wilson to be consistent with his targets, but he had a lot of looks last week. Sammy Watkins had a huge game for the Bills, 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards. He's coming into his own. And then last but not least, Beckham from the Giants. He had 2 touchdowns. He's a freaky athlete, and if Eli throws him the ball, he's going to produce. Moving on to tight ends. I actually only have one new tight end for you this week. That is Gresham from the Bengals. He had 12 targets in the game last week, so that's a lot of targets. That might change with A.J. Green coming back, but still, 12 is a lot. The 4 defenses that I think you should look at this week are the Browns, because we're playing the Raiders at home. Hopefully we'll bounce back from that loss. The Colts, they shut out the Bengals last week, which is crazy. The Lions, because I believe they're playing Atlanta, and Atlanta's offensive line is pretty banged up. And last but not least, the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. They are at home against, I believe, against the Redskins. So I like that matchup, especially at home. I have a ton of IDPs actually this week. In case your league has IDPs, those are Hightower, Kirksey from the Browns, Smith from the Seahawks, Ray from the Bengals, Greenway and Barr from the Vikings, Khalil Mack, Borland from the 49ers, while the other 2 linebackers are out, Weddle from the Chargers, Levy from the Lions, and Curtis Lofton. That's all I got this week. Last week I went 4-1. I should have went 5-0, but stupidly I started Kaepernick over Breeze, so I lost. I deserved to lose, but I learned my lesson. Sometimes you have to play the name instead of the matchup, and so I will do that from here on forward. Hit me up if you need individual advice. I wish you guys the best of luck unless you're playing me. I'll see you next week.